Greetings Mr. Donald Trump, we are anonymous. No doubt, just like everybody else, you too must be shocked and surprised that you are now being referred to as the President of the United States of America. No, seriously. Who would have guessed you would have actually pulled it off, but you did, and therefore, we have a very urgent message just for you. Anonymous represents the people, the same people who elected you to be their president, and will be expecting you to make many positive changes, and deliver everything that you have promised to them. Like many other presidents before you, they all had their own opportunity to show empathy and genuine care for their fellow citizens and to be remembered and respected. However, except for the late John F. Kennedy, sadly, all have bowed down to the wealthy, the powerful, the greedy, the corrupt big corporations and the elite above. Therefore, we wonder, what will you do during your term, Mr. Trump? You have spoken about many issues during your election campaign, but we are here to tell you that there are more things to worry about than building a wall and the current refugee crisis. Let us inform you, the refugee crisis only exists because of greedy billionaires and corporations who want their country's resources just to profit, and the bombs the Western world are dropping on them, leaving them no other choices but to flee for their lives. So keep this in mind when you speak harshly against them in the future. Remember whose fault it really is. So what are you going to really do for the American people, Mr. President? Because right now, you should see yourself as the apprentice and learn from the mistakes of those before you, such as Barack Obama and his many failings and lack of care for the citizens and empty words, such as towards indigenous natives, having ignored what is happening at Standing Rock and turning a blind eye. Will you protect their water, protect their food, protect their security, their health, education, their human rights, their privacy, or are you just going to be like many others who could have made a great name for themselves, only to be, well, let's just say, just another puppet? We know you are smart, because you know about Tower 7 being taken down by controlled demolition on 9/11.
There's a great deal of question about whether or not the damage and the ultimate destruction of the buildings was caused by the airplanes, by architectural defect, or possibly by bombs or aftershocks. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it was an architectural defect. You know, the World Trade Center was always known as a very, very strong building. Don't forget, that took a big bomb in the basement. Now, the basement is the most vulnerable place because that's your foundation. And it withstood that. And I got to see that area about 3 or 4 days after it took place because one of my structural engineers actually took me for a tour because he did the building. And I said, I can't believe it. The building was standing solid and half of the columns were blown out. I mean, so this was an unbelievably powerful building. If you know anything about structure, it was one of the first buildings that was built from the outside. The steel, the reason the World Trade Center had such narrow windows is that in between all the windows you had the steel on the outside. So you had the steel on the outside of the building. That's why when I first looked, and you had big, heavy I-beams. When I first looked at it, I couldn't believe it because there was a hole in the steel. And this is steel that was, you remember the width of the windows in the World Trade Center, folks. I think you know, if you were ever up there, they were quite narrow. And in between was this heavy steel. I said, how could a plane, even a 767 or 747, or whatever it might have been, how could it possibly go through the steel?
So we hope you will be much greater than those before you, and protect the above we have mentioned, and not bow down to the evil elite that JFK had warned us about before he was assassinated. Remember, your actions will show the people who you truly are deep down, and Anonymous will be only too eager to keep on the watch and expose anything we feel the people should be aware of. We encourage you to keep truth and justice close to your heart. We also request that you do all you can to encourage other countries to end civil wars, stop the killing of young children including babies in current war-torn countries, use alternative energy options, protect citizens' water, food and health, to make education affordable and ease the strain on day-to-day living expenses, and allow the people to protest what they feel you are not paying attention to. You are not only in a position to make America great again, but you also have the possibility of making yourself great by what you do over the next 4 years, and be remembered and respected for generations to come. Only you have the power to choose your own destiny and the positive or negative reference to your name. Donald Trump. Anonymous will be watching you. We are anonymous. We are legion. United as one. Divided by zero. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.